Well, I did know the story because I grew up with it. In fact, the time scale of this series, 1960 to 1979, is me from 0 to 19. And so I became more and more aware growing up of Jeremy Thorpe. And then, of course, we all had a lot of fun when the trial came about and all the jokes about dogs and, sniggering. Because in those days, people sniggered at gay secrets and things like that. So I do remember all that. Yes, and then, making the film brings back my whole childhood. Everything, every prop was, oh yeah, I used to have that. Oh, that loo paper, I remember, it was horrible. Yeah. Well, I think what was brilliant about John Preston's book, which came out a couple of years ago, and on which the series is based, and what's brilliant about the screenplay, Russell Davis's screenplay, is that it really brings out the comedy of the thing. It is absurd. Here were these very establishment figures plotting in a very amateurish English way a hit, and so that's enjoyable. And I think the contrast of that old Etonian establishment where everyone did each other's favours, and you could go and see the Home Secretary and say, just get rid of those police files, would you? Contrasted with the up and coming world of people like Norman Scott, outwardly gay, sort of hippie. There's a lot of fun to be had there. It's almost sort of Monty Python world. Oh, well, I think what makes it English is it's just so... There's repression, obviously. There's masses of repression. I don't know if that makes it more English. I mean, they're pretty repressed in America, but it's the repression, the inability to admit, oh, yes, okay, I'm homosexual, was partly a thing of its time, but I think perhaps also partly English. And as I say, just the amateurishness of the hit, the disastrous hopelessness of one person hiring another person, hiring another person, hiring another person, and then ending up with just the world's worst hitman, who then uses a gun from 1911 that jams and he shoots the dog instead. It's all that just sort of, hopeless English amateurishness. I think, we're all quite politically aware these days. Big events, Brexit, Trump, we've got everyone juiced up. And so a political drama set back in the 60s and 70s could be very interesting. Mm-hmm. Well, I've certainly been in the middle of press storms, such as he was when the scandal started to break around him. I knew what that felt like. But there's lots of other things where you always sort of look at the character here and you look at yourself here and then you say, oh, there's kind of that match up there. Yeah, Stephen Frears again after Florence Foster Jenkins, very nice. He's such an oddball, really. I don't know what makes him tick. I never thought he would ever be the kind of director who would want to use me. I thought he was too sort of trendy, lefty, independent film and wouldn't want the guy who made big, fluffy romantic comedies. But then, he suddenly did. He wanted me to do Florence, and it came out well, we got on well. And then he said, don't sign up for anything else, because I've got this other project. And he's got a very good taste in material.